We're finally going to go ahead and take this cylinder head off, but there's a few things we have to do first. Let me show you. One of the first pieces we're going to go ahead and take off is this thermostat housing over here. It'll give us access to this whole side of the engine head, and then we can go ahead and move forward to the other side on the timing chain. On the timing chain side, we have the guides that need to go ahead and come out, and then the timing tensioner down here. There's a process that we're going to go ahead and take to remove this, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And then finally, across the top, what we've all been waiting for, I'm going to go ahead and measure the torque yield on each one of these to make sure none of them backed out. I took all this off in one piece, and I can't say this enough, make sure to keep all your bolts together. Before removing the timing tensioner, I have to go ahead and put this tack in place before I take it out. It holds the tension in place, so when I go ahead and reinstall it, it goes back pretty easily. Let me show you what I'm talking about. As I spin this, you can go ahead and see the tensioner trying to relieve pressure to go ahead and move this lever here so I can reinstall the tack. Right here is where I'm talking about. It looks like the hole's aligned. We'll go ahead and try to put tension back on it, and that's where we'll leave it. Right here, you can see that it's safe to remove by there being no tension on the chain guide. I can move it freely, side to side. That's how you know it's ready to roll. Typically, when you're at this step, you want to go ahead and make sure to have the engine in top dead center. I couldn't do that because cylinder 3 was pretty rusted out. And now, finally, let's go ahead and take this cylinder head off. I positioned the camera so you guys could also see when the bolts break loose. It's supposed to be at 80 foot-pounds. 83.8, 80.3, 80.3 again, 90.6, 68.3, 66.6, 74.3, 83.9, 68.3, 81.4. By this point, I was pretty fed up. 3 bolts that backed out. That's kind of crazy. Because I already got my readings, I went over and just took my ratchet and took these bolts out the rest of the way. This is the things that happen when you go ahead and modify your car. Even though you do everything right, still things will go wrong. This is just the life of what we live. Alright guys, this is what we've all been waiting for. Even from this angle, you can still see how grody cylinder 3 is. So cylinder 3 is cooked. A lot of my suspicions were confirmed with this. Looking at it, I was trying to see if it was just water, but rust doesn't crystallize. So I look around the edge and I go ahead and look at the piston. It's crystallized, and the only thing that can do that is coolant. Looking at the location and the 2 bolts that gave me the reading of 68 foot-pounds versus 80, it makes sense. And in case you guys are wondering what studs I used Inline Pro M11 studs. I was warned about this, but I wanted to go ahead and give them a chance, and this is what I got dealt with. Had I taken the engine apart sooner, I could have saved cylinder 3, but it still doesn't give the excuse of why those 2 studs backed out. But anyway, this is the end of the video.